Hey guys, PowerPoint here. We're just going to do a startup tutorial as promised. With the videos I've been showing you lately, I thought if it's just startup videos, that'd be the next step. So, first thing you do, you just load it in a Microsoft Flight Simulator. First thing I do is I open up Pushback Helper, which is the app. The link will be in the description for you. Open up a few things. Sometimes I open up the cargo door, depending on how long I know I'm going to be here. Next thing you do, you go in the cockpit. And what you can do is, first thing I do is I hit external power on. Power on, everything comes on. If you turn up the volume a bit, you can hear all the systems booting up. Everything's coming on quite nicely, and the screens have gone into this self-test display. Next thing you want to do is you want to turn on your batteries and the cruise supply. Once you've done that, I now set the ADIRs to align, and they will align. Normally they take 7 minutes, however for my purpose of my video now, I've just, if you go to options and go realism, align time, I've set it to fast, just so that you guys can get an idea a little bit faster than maybe you would. Next thing you want to do is start turning on the lights. So this one here, this turns on these lights. Then you want to turn on the emergency systems arm. If you're at night time, you want to go dome lights, which are here. You just click them on, they turn on the big lights. Right, so as I say, I just go through the cockpit, turning on the interior lights, so integrated lights go on, one flood, then I just set up the lighting for these displays here, so a little bit brighter. Depending on time of day, just go a little bit brighter. Turn up the FMC brightness. Autopilot ones are here. Sometimes it would be difficult. Oops, my weather is set to scatter cloud, we'll just change that to live. We might get a little bit of lag as we go through here yet. That's not the live weather, I can tell you. I'll just lag whilst that changes, give it a second. Sometimes it can be a little bit, the live weather can change, so there we go, just wait for that to go live. I think that might be live, so then what we do is we set the pressure. If you hit B on your keyboard, it'll set the pressure. Next thing I do, I turn on the flight directors, constraint display, and auto throttle. And when I'm feeling that my computer can't handle it, sometimes I just turn off first off displays to help with frame rate. Now it's done. If I'm not on VATSIM, I just set it to wherever my cruise will be today, according to my sim brief. So let's hop on over to the sim brief and start to have a look at what we're doing. So I'm just going to generate the OFP. I'll just show you it here. You can have a look at what we're doing. Just generating the sim brief package here. Now it's generated. We're going to be cruising at 300, flying from Bristol City, Belfast City, down to Shannon. Don't worry, I don't like Shannon, it's just got a good ILS, which makes it good for these videos. So today I'm going to go AOC, and I'm doing a sim brief import. So if you have a look at the sim brief, apologies, oops, sorry. So we can see the sim brief here. So once you generate your OFP, if you go have a look at my sim brief tutorial, that'll show you how to generate it. And all I'm going to do is what I do there, but this is more of a startup tutorial rather than FMC. If you want to know the FMC tutorial video, you can go have a look at that on my YouTube channel. So, I'm just going to program the FMC quickly. As I say, go check out that video for the rest of it. So today, cruising at 300, costing X31, and I just got to set the weights. 4,500 pounds fuel. And payload wise, so it's payload wise, we just roll this up, there we go, and that's nice there. Right, now the payload's in, we now just wanted to put in the fuel, which is 4.6 today, so we just put in the block fuel here, there, that just goes in there. That's nice, and our departure runway for today is runway 22. Straight out departure, so that just goes in like that. Arrival, runway 24, via the Rickled to Delta. Interesting, it says no stars, that's weird. Let's try it again. ILS 24. There we go, it's coming in. There's the Rickled to Delta. There it is, RICU to Delta. So it cuts off the last few letters in the FMC, so you just make sure you get in. Anyway, now that's in. We can see we've got the routing off departure, heading down south. Digos, Opalapo, and in. A weird thing here, from here we'll just go direct and cut that corner. Performance page, set performance, it's going to be a 2 departure. flaps 2, and it's going to be toga. I forgot to mention in the autopilot video when we did the takeoff, to tell me it's toga, I just do a flex temp calculator. However, if you don't want to do that, guys, I recommend just judging by the length. So here we at City, we've got quite a short runway, so what I'm doing is going toga because it's quite short. Now I use pushback helper, I just close the cargo door. Request the tug to come on station because there's no tug. Sometimes you'll have a tug and it'll actually drive up, but because we don't have a tug today, I'm not going to do that. So we just connect tug and it just imagine it's there. Next thing you want to do is turn your nav and beacon lights on, and if you're ready to go, turn your seatbelt lights on. Start the APU. You should actually wait 5 seconds there, I've clicked that a little bit too fast. And you want to turn on your fuel pumps. Just extinguish all the lights. The A320 works on a system where you want to extinguish all the lights on the overhead panel for you to be fully ready for departure. Once you've done that, you can lock the cockpit door here. If you're on VATSIM, they'll probably tell you a escort code. Or if you're not on VATSIM, you can put whatever escort you want. So let's go 1200, or we can go 7500. Anything we want. We're not connected to VATSIM, so it doesn't matter. Once you have done this, you want to make sure autopilot, so we're cruising at 300 today. Because I'm just by myself on my spare, I'm going to set this right up to 300 and engage that there. Right, there we go, that's on. There we go, so the APU's gone avail. We now go bleed. And that means we can now start the engine. So now we've gone bleed. There's quite a lot of noise coming from the back of the engine here. If I turn this up a bit, you can hear there's quite a lot of noise. So just turn that back down. So basically what we now is disconnect from external power. The tug's already connected, so what we're going to do is release the parking brake. There we go, parking brake released. And you want to set your predictive winch to auto. And make sure you're ready, FMC's programmed. If you're on VATSIM, get clearance to push back. And all you do is pushback helper, click reverse, and the plane starts moving back. What you then want to do is, as soon as you start pushing back, start engine number 2. On the A320 Neo, it's number 2, as the 2 activates the hydraulic pressure for the A320 Neo. So once you're doing that, you're just pushing back, and because we have this system, just go in the cockpit, click switch, and what I recommend is when this gets to about 10%, we then start number 1, sorry. Here at City, I just sort of want to follow this line roughly back onto this taxiway here. Actually, what have I forgotten? So what have I forgotten? We're departing from this end today, so I need to spin round. So hopefully we can turn tight enough. I don't know if we can, but I have forgotten that. So we'll spin it, see if it can spin around fast enough. Or you can adjust tug speed here. So I'm just going to drop this back and keep going all the way around. All the way around, so we might not make it. But no matter, it's got a forward system where I can tow the aircraft forward. So now we want to start engine 2. Engine 2 is now going to start. Make sure you have this in ignition start position. And now the engine is going to rev up and start. So as I say, we've missed that there, so I'm going to click stop, forwards, and left. And that will now turn us left. We can sort of just do a shuffle, basically. Sometimes you get this weird spammy sort of glitchy thing. As you can see, we're jolting a bit. That's only really when you go forward to get this. What I've done is turned on the fly pad here. I'll do another video on that another day. That's far enough, I reckon. Stop, left, wrong way, right. All you want to do is just push roughly onto the line. Because I'm at City, we're going to do quite quick. So now we've got one engine started. We're going to go flaps what we set for takeoff in the performance mode. So I set 2. So I'm just going to draw the flaps to 2. The flaps go down, you can see it going down here. And that's good enough. Alright, not the best of pushes, but we'll just stop it there. That's about good enough. You want to make sure you disconnect tug, so the tug goes grey. Close pushback helper, and you're good to go. So what we now want to do is make sure we have confirmed engine start, which we do. Both of them are idling at the same percentages. So we now go normal on the ignition start. APU bleed off. APU master off. And turn the taxi light on. If we're on VATSIM, we then call for taxi. Once we have taxi clearance, we're now going to taxi to the runway. So, your parking brake on actually once you've disconnected the tug, but let's just imagine we had that on. Well, now disconnect that, and all you do is thrust up to, I go about 50% thrust just to get us rolling. Depends on how heavy you are, sometimes you don't need that. Once rolling, I then reverse it back to about 30% thrust. And roll out nice and slowly, not exceeding 20 knots and about 10 knots in the turns. So just go out like that, that's good. Now because we have to backtrack here at Bristol City, I'm going to have to turn the landing lights on. And quickly, if you're in VATSIM here, so it's all well and good, they told you to put sport code, you think, yeah, great, I've got the sport code in. What you probably haven't done is set this, you have to turn this little thing that I was hovering over. Let me just turn on the runway, otherwise I'm going to go on the grass. And as we're going on the runway here, what I just want to mention is, when you go on the runway you have to turn your strobes on, and then I'll turn the rest of the lights on, so that traffic landing, or in the area, know we're on the runway. What you want to do is, though, is turn this far one right the way as far as it'll go to the furthest right, which is TA/RA. And what that'll be transponder for takeoff mode. Then, so today it's a PAX off takeoff, it says PAX. So we're going to click here PAC 1 and PAC 2, so that the PACs go off. You here it's gone slightly quieter, and that's just the air conditioning system going off for takeoff today. We then want to start to follow our procedures as it just come up here. So we go auto brake max. Check the cabin for takeoff, so cabin crew seats for takeoff, please, or something like that. We then want to arm the spoilers by pulling it up here. I want to click takeoff config here. There we go, takeoff config normal. Set your pitch trim, so it's an up 1 for today. There we go, seat for takeoff. Then down the runway you can go up to 50 knots. So we'll just let the speed boost up. Speed's going up nicely. And make sure all your lights are on, seatbelt signs are on. To be honest, perfectly honest, I don't know what that does. I know it should be cap and pers, but I don't know what it does, so I just set it to cap and pers for takeoff. And sometimes in the flight turn it off, I don't really know. As far as I can tell from testing, it doesn't seem to make a difference, so don't think it matters. Here we've got a turnaround pad, so we're just going to do a quick turnaround around this pad here, and line back up with the runway. So if we idle thrust, let's do a rough turnaround. The A320 in this has got a very tight turning surface, so we don't need to use the whole pad. We can cut this short. Just turn across here, roll it round.
Okay, I've got him on white.
Yeah, so you just line back up with the runway. ATC will have cleared you for backtrack, and once you've cleared backtrack, you then just do what I've just done. Now we hold here, we say we're ready for departure. They clear us for takeoff. Once they clear us for takeoff, we then go through some takeoff stuff. So just before takeoff, what we want to do is, so we just want to make sure you set your parking brake quickly, just so that you can hold it for a second. Make sure your lights on, the PACs are off. Just do a quick overhead sweep, make sure no lights are on, unless, apart from these two, the off for PACs. And if you've got heavy clouding, which we haven't, you turn your anti-ice on, if it was cold. Make sure everything's the FMC set up, so because straight out departure, I'm just going to adjust this. And I want the weather radar on for departure, and that's just this switch here. Set it to radar systems 1, now I've got a rough radar. What you should be aware is that the radar weather's optimum distance set is 40 miles, so if anything more than that, sometimes it'll be inaccurate. Anything less than that, you won't get a good perspective, so go 40, and that's a good one. Make sure everything's ready for takeoff, and then once you're ready, disengage the parking brake, smoothly increase the thrust to about 50%, check the engines, confirm there, and then go to whatever your thrust is for takeoff. So for today, it's toga, so go right up to the stop, and we're rolling. You then want to check this is good, so it'll say SRS runway, auto thrust blue, main toga, and you just say that, you just say SRS runway, auto thrust blue, main toga set, and your speed alive, 100 knots, you start cooling out your speed, 120, V1, rotate, and then you just smoothly pull back on the stick, let the nose increasing nicely. This line jumps up, you know you've got positive rate, so you go gear up. And then I just go 15 degrees climb, looking nice. Let it do that for a bit, and then I drop the nose back down to 2,500. Turn right slightly, and follow the set departure route. Coming right onto it, and there we go. On the departure route. About to climb. Nice Belfast City Airport. Very small. Now once you're in there, you go taxi lights are off. So when you go gear up, you go taxi lights off, but because I'm by myself, can't do that. And you go packs back on. Now as the flashes leave a climb, you reduce the thrust back to the CL detent. This is all in my autopilot tutorial. And then again, you just reduce the climb rate, de-arm the spoilers. I go autopilot on. Oh, maybe there's a bit off the climb, the departure there. And then what I do is watch the speed. When you're in flaps 2, you have to manually retract the spoilers back to flaps 1. However, when you're in flaps 1, what will happen is the flaps will automatically retract, but the slats won't. So there we go, ice warning. So we just go look up here, engine anti-ice 1 and 2 on. And there we go. So now 180 knots, we're going to go flap 1. Lift this, move that here. There we go, flaps 1, no problem. Speed's dropping a bit, I've just noticed. Bit weird that shouldn't be really dropping. Anyway, transition altitude here is 6. So there you go, the autopilot's realised speed's dropping. Just drop the nose a bit. It's a bit sharp, but it's dropped the nose, let the speed build, and now it's going back up. But it's still dropping. I'm not sure what's going on today actually, that's very weird. Sometimes you feel its speed, just go up to toga for a second, just so you can build up the speed a bit, and then drop it back. So what I'm going to do is go up to toga. Let's just reduce this climb rate a bit, shall we? Just to see if that helps. Manage climb. And then all we do is reduce back to CL detent when you're happy the speed's increasing, which it is now. And that's about it. That's about how you do your departure frequency. And then once you're in the air, the autopilot's pretty straightforward and everything. Through 10,000 feet, you then turn your landing lights off, seatbelt signs off, and you're good from there. There we go. Speed's climbing, that's resolved itself. If we just watch here, I'll just wait for a second. When we start to reach here, what you'll notice is the flaps will retract and the slats will stay out, and that will just happen automatically. Sorry, that's just a friend joining. And that'll just retract automatically. See, we're holding altitude here because it's letting the speed build, and that'll continue climb once you're good. So 5,000 there, so we go standard pressure. Now that's happened, yeah, that's about your startup procedure. I hope you all found that helpful. Please hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.